Earthquake Response and Recovery Bill, second reading.
This bill is set down for committee stage forthwith. I declare the House in committee for consideration of the Canterbury Earthquake Response and Recovery Bill. Mr. Chairman.
The Canterbury Earthquake Response Recovery Bill, the House is in committee. The question is that Part 1 stand part.
Point of order, Mr.
Point of order, Honourable John Carter.
Speaker, I think it's probably appropriate that rather than this debate this clause by clause or part by part, that we have a wide-ranging debate through the committee stages, and I seek leave for that to happen.
So that there be a wide-ranging debate one debate.
One debate. Mr. Speaker.
And any restriction on the number of calls per individual?
I don't think so, no.
Well, you need to put it...
And that there be no...
no limitation on calls.
Limitation on calls.
Right, members have heard the leave. Is there anyone opposed to that course of action? Appears not. Leave is granted. So the question is that parts 1 and 2 and clauses 1 and 2 stand part.
Mr. Speaker.
Honourable John Carter.
Mr. Chairman, I rise to speak in the committee stages. Firstly, just to advise the House that the member whose name the bill is in will be in the chair straight after dinner, because I know that there are questions that members have of the Minister, Mr. Brownlee, and that he will be here to listen to those questions and to do his best to answer them. I want to make just one or 2 points just to set the tone of this debate, and I've listened to the contributions that have been made by the various members of the Parliament, and I think the first thing that probably needs to be set down clearly and squarely on the table, this bill is not about this Parliament, and it's not about this government trying to run the recovery down in Christchurch. It's actually a bill to allow this Parliament and this government to assist the people of Canterbury, but the recovery is to be driven from the people of Canterbury. That's its purpose. And indeed, the very reason why some of the points that have been made by members earlier about the bill being referred to the Regulations Review Committee, for example, and the opportunity for that committee, which is chaired by an opposition member, is to allow full scrutiny of any decision that's made in regard to decisions in regard to this bill. I think the second point that also needs to be made, and it is an important point, of course, that any member can then come and put a notice of motion on the table if there is a decision taken by the government by order in council, and to allow that then to be, the bill allows for that to be debated. And if the government doesn't allow that debate, then of course the order in council lapses. And the purpose of that, of course, is to allow full and open scrutiny, which not only have members of the Labor Party asked for, but also members of the Green Party and others have suggested that that is a vital part of our democracy. And of course it is, and that's the intention of the bill and of the government, and indeed one of the reasons why, as best as we've been able, we have done our best to consult as widely as we can. I know there are some amendments on the table. It's our intention to ensure that there is full scrutiny of any decision where a member deems that that is necessary, or maybe some person in the public is worried about an issue and refers it to a Member of Parliament. Then there is that mechanism to allow that issue to be fully debated and disclosed. And for that reason, there are some other issues then that the bill doesn't allow, that's been asked for, because they're not necessary in the way in which this bill has been established. This bill does allow the public of New Zealand to have the opportunity to hear the reasons and decisions that are taken if that is considered necessary. The purpose of this bill is to allow for the recovery to be undertaken as speedily as possible, but in a seemly way, It's a bill that is to allow the people of Canterbury, and particularly the leaders of the people in Canterbury, to ensure that every step is taken to recover as rapidly as possible. And again, like we here in this House now, they are so keenly attuned to the needs of the people of Canterbury. They are aware that there's the state of shock, that there will be all sorts of emotions start flowing as people start realising the impact on their lives. There will be disappointment, there will be anger, there will be sadness, there will be all sorts of emotions that will flow, and of course we'll be needing to deal with that, and as best as we're able, this bill will allow those concerns to be addressed. A member asked earlier that once the state of emergency is over, which all being well if this bill passes in this House, that it's very likely that it will be lifted tomorrow at 12 o'clock so that we have a seamless transfer from a state of emergency into a state of urgency. What will happen to the needs of the people who need access to welfare and psychologists, etc., all that sort of thing, that of course will still remain. That won't disappear. The 0800 77 999 number will still be there. So all those things will be catered for to allow a continuity. We don't want any disruption, Mr Chairman.
The Honourable John Carter.
We don't want any disruption. We realise that the lives of the people down there have already been disrupted, and the whole objective of this legislation and the whole purpose is to ensure that there is, as best as we can, to a smooth recovery for the people of Canterbury. We have to be concerned about their needs and their worries and their issues. They have to be first. It's not about this Parliament. It's about this Parliament and the rest of New Zealand helping the people of Canterbury to get back onto their feet so that they can normality can be restored as rapidly as possible. And I must say, Mr Speaker, I haven't heard anybody in this House who doesn't have that as an intent. Now, I know there are some amendments on the table. They are being studied at the moment. I can't say that they will all be adopted, but we certainly are doing our best at giving a genuine look at whether they can be incorporated or not. Of course, we would prefer that at the end of this debate that everybody in this House can agree with the third reading. That may not be possible, and it would be unfortunate if that's so, but we do want the people in the Parliament and in New Zealand to understand that this government is genuinely trying to ensure that we have a cross-party agreement on this bill, because we think that is in the best interest of the people of New Zealand. And so it may be, as I say, that there will be some points that are put that may not necessarily be supported, but nevertheless, that is its intention as best as we can to accept and to cooperate and to ensure a smooth transition. I finish by just saying that our objective, as best as we can, is to return the Canterbury region to a normality as soon as is possible.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.